I'm Mash Podigala. So your messaging, right? Your brand messaging is usually a struggle. It's every brand, I mean, small brands, big brands, huge brands, every brand struggles with their messaging. And one of the biggest reasons that smaller brands struggle with their messaging is because of missing out understanding the fears of their customers or their target audience. Now, customers, target audience, people have hopes, desires. At the same time, they also have fears, right? Pain points and fears. Now, your brand messaging should take into account the fears and the pain points of your target audience as much as the hopes and desires. Of course, there are three categories of brands when it comes to messaging. The first category, they just look at the features, right? They look at the kind of technical aspects of their product or service. We use the best leather, or our product has these features, bells and whistles, and so on. That's okay. It works for some brands. It may not work so well for other brands. And the reason is that the target audience changes, right? It depends on the target audience. The second category of brands are the ones that look at the benefits. So they just don't look at the features. They look at the benefits, but they only look at it from a positive aspect, right? So they look at the hopes and desires, most importantly, desires of their target audience. And they sort of look at it from their product or service perspective. And they say, okay, does our, when they're messaging, does our brand, align with those desires? Now, again, there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, that should be a part of your brand messaging. And then you have the third third category of brands that not only look at the features, they also look at the hopes and desires, but they also look at the fears of their target audience. So what are these fears, right? Now, everyone has fears and pain points about the problems that they're trying to solve. Or rather, the fears and pain points become the problems that they're trying to solve. Even desires can be, of course, problems that they're trying to solve. I want something. Let's say, I don't know, I'm creating a video, right? And I might feel that maybe the lighting is not good enough. So I need something. Now I'm trying to solve a problem here, but that's because of my desire. It could also be a fear, because if the lighting is not good, I may end up looking bad, or the video might end up looking bad, which means that the kind of message I'm trying to communicate through this video gets lost because the audience is sort of put off by the lighting. So as you can see, it's just a simple example. It's got different layers. It's not a simple, straightforward rule of thumb, right? So different problems have different kind of layers. But the fact is that in this situation, I have a desire. I also have a fear. And the messaging, when I'm looking for lighting solutions and I want to buy something, the message that will capture my attention and the message that will enable me to trust that product and give my money to is the one that not only looks at my desire, which is I want a light because I want to look good, but rather my fear. Now you might say at this point that, Mash, hang on. So your desire and your fear are actually two sides of the same coin, right? You want to look good, which is the desire, and you're afraid you look bad, which is the flip side. Well, that is about 20% of products or problems out there. 80%, the desire is different, or rather it's far from the fears. And the target audience, most customers don't realize the difference. They don't, usually humans, they move away from pain towards pleasure, right? And so the buying decisions, the purchase decisions, they're made around moving away from fear or pain. So here's the deal. If you're struggling with your brand messaging, right, you're not sure what to say beyond, of course, the features and possibly even the benefits of your product or service, and you're thinking, how can I communicate properly with my audience so that it's not just about sell, right? It's not about asking them to buy my product, but it's about building a relationship. Then you need to identify, you need to look at the audience journey, right? The audience journey of where they are. Actually, by the way, I've created a whole series of videos on the audience journey. And I think you should check those out if you want to understand where the audience will be before they even realize they have a problem, and then where and the whole journey as they realize the problem, and so on and so forth, right? So you need to look at the audience journey. You need to understand where they are, where they will be, and where fear comes into play. And then insert your brand message addressing those fears. Now, a word of caution. I'm not talking about scaremongering, right? I'm not talking about unreasonable and unnecessary and downright scammy kind of fear tactics. And a lot of brands do that, right? It's stupid. It's, yeah, a certain segment of the population will fall for that kind of crap. And, but still, I mean, they fall for it. They might purchase the product. And then when they realize, that they're being taken for a ride, they might ask for a refund, blah, blah, blah. So I'm assuming that my audience that I'm talking to are brands that are genuinely interested in creating genuine relationship with their audience, right? In that case, no fear mongering, but addressing the fears. In this case, in my lighting, yeah, I'm interested in the fear aspect. So identify the audience journey, look at where the fear comes in, what kind of fear, what is it that your audience fears that your product or service can solve, as well as, of course, the desires or the benefits. Okay, I'm going around in circles. I think I've said fears and desires like maybe 2,000 times in this video, but I hope you get the message. So today, sit down, look at your brand messaging. Is it addressing any fears? Yes, it may be, but are those the core fears? Because there are many different levels of fears. Money, actually, budget could be a fear, right? So people don't want to spend a lot. Like, for example, yeah, I might realize I have a lighting problem with my videos, but you know what? I don't want to go and buy, $600 or $1,000 kind of a light. I don't want to do that. That's a fear because I don't want to spend that kind of money. But that is only peripheral, right? I would have other fears that may or may not dominate the fear of not spending a lot more money, right? So, okay, so think through. If you have questions on this fears and, brand message and how to craft around it, not specific questions, right? So people leave comments and they say, okay, I'm doing this. What do you think is their fear? I cannot tell you because it needs work. It needs you to analyze and to look at the audience journey. You need to create buyer personas, avatars and archetypes. There's lots to do. And I've created lots of videos on each of these topics. So I can't just tell you on a YouTube video comment, right? These are the fears of your audience and this is the message you need to, right? I just can't do that. But if you're doing something and you're already analyzing, and you want to know the technical aspects of the strategy, right, of this fear and message, then ask me and I'll try to give you some more details of that. All right. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't already subscribed to this channel, Awaken Your Brand, I'm telling you, you're making a mistake. You need to subscribe, right? So that when I create these different videos touching all the different parts of building this kind of awesome brand, then you won't miss out on that. So subscribe, hit the bell notification so that when my next video comes out, you get notified and you then don't miss out on these different darts that I'm connecting to create the right kind of brand. All right, till the next video, take care.